What's up, everyone? This is the Next Take podcast, episode 16 with Mikel,
and Tanyka.
where we have conversation on different topics. So, Tanyka, we are up early, 7 plus a.m.
Yes, we are.
Extremely early. I have somewhere to go a little later on. That's one of the reasons why. And yeah, that's why we're doing it extremely early.
Yeah.
So this is probably the last time we're going to be doing this.
Yeah.
Because I know Tanika's extremely tired, and I'm gonna be
I'm managing.
Oh, okay.
Don't definitely going to work.
Yeah, I know I'm gonna be extremely tired by the end of the day. So
I'm taking a nap.
Yeah, oh, power nap or just a small nap?
No, I'm going to be probably taking a few hours. Yeah.
Okay, so that's basically a power nap, everybody.
Sure.
So this week I know in the US people are celebrating Martin Luther King Day on January 15th. That's awesome. If everybody don't know who Martin Luther King Jr. is, or senior, my apologies.
Senior.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was thinking junior.
But he's been labeled as Martin Luther King Jr. Over Google search, etc. So yeah. So what is Martin Luther King famous for? Martin Luther King Jr. is known for his contributions to the American Civil Rights Movement in the 1960s. His most famous work is his "I Have a Dream" speech. I have a dream, so delivered in 1963, in which he spoke of his dream of the United States that is void of segregation and racism. So, yeah, he was one of the greatest civil rights leaders of all time. I know people will say, Malcolm X is also up there.
I think when it comes to civil rights movement, everyone has a special place in that. Everyone is important because the more the merrier when it comes to the civil rights movement.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Why is Martin Luther King Jr. Day celebrated? MLK Day marks the birthday of King, and a minister, activist, and one of the prominent leaders of civil rights movements in 1950s and 1960s. So, yeah, that's why people celebrate Martin Luther King Day, because of his birthday and his minister and his they just celebrate everything what he has done in his past, basically. So, anything else you have to say, Tanyka?
Well, really, I think we'll keep it at a limited thing. I think this is definitely a topic we can elaborate on.
Yeah.
He has so much that he achieved in a small time, honestly, because he was, honestly, not to be dramatic, but I'm going to be dramatic, was taken away from us. So I think that is definitely something we can talk about. And when it comes to his famous "I Have a Dream" speech, I mean, we have definitely come a long way, but I think there is so much work to still be done. There is still racism in this world. Obviously, there isn't segregation anymore. We've been segregated for some time now, but there's still a lot of work to be done.
100% agree. There's a lot of work to be done, even though we have grown and progressed in the last few generations, I would say. So yeah, I do agree 100%. Yeah, so moving on to the topic. So what are we going to be talking about in today's podcast episode?
So today we're going to be talking about the new laws that have passed in 2024 in Ontario. We're going to
Okay.
be talking about the God of Darkness asteroid. Um,
Oh, oh,
yes,
nice.
this particular article that I did find, though, seemed to not only focus on the asteroid, but this new spaceship as well. That was kind of so we're not going to talk about the spaceship. We're just merely going to talk about the asteroid, um, and the fact that it's going to be very close. And we're also going to talk about the nursing crisis in Ontario. But we're also have an update, a very, very quick update we can do at the end for a topic that we did talk about before.
Okay.
So we'll first talk about the new laws that passed in 2024, literally as of January 1st, 2024 in Ontario. Um, so we're going to do some of them. Obviously, there's probably more. I think if you want to know all of them, I'm sure a Google search will help with that. But um, so as of January 1st, the first law that was passed is that the province requires that all childcare operators develop a policy outlining what steps that they will take to closely monitor when a child does not arrive to the daycare or childcare facility or is not picked up when expected. So the mere reason they're passing this law, is to prevent children deaths. For example, if they were left in a car, so not necessarily any fault of a parent, but well, I mean, that's technically fault of a parent, in my opinion, but it's obviously accidental, but it's a kind of help with that to prevent that from happening. Because if you're not getting a call about a child not coming in, or you expect a child to be in and they're not in, obviously this is to help kind of be like, okay, it's called parent, which again, I don't understand why this was never the case before. If you do attendance in an elementary school, which we're going to talk about very briefly, because it actually gets brought up in this article. If you're bringing, like, if you're a child in elementary school or even high school, and they take attendance, and you're not there, and your parent hasn't called you in to say you're sick or not coming or whatever, they call your house, because it's happened to me, where I was sick. My mom forgot to call, and they've called either her on their cell or whatever, and she's like, oh shit, I forgot to call. But like, that happens. So why wasn't that happening with children who are even more vulnerable than, an elementary school kid, depending on their age, or a high school child? Like, it doesn't make any sense why a law had to be passed for that. I feel like that's just common sense.
Yeah.
Anyways,
maybe they're trying to be more stiffer with it because it's been happening for numerous of times, like in the last like a couple or even a few years.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like, why hasn't it always been stiffer? Like, why wasn't it just stiff? You know what I mean? Before this law had to be passed in the first place. Because it just feels like a waste of,
resources.
It's good. Yes, it's obviously good to have. Okay, I'm not saying it's not good to have, but I'm just saying, like, yes, it's a waste of resources, because, like, why couldn't this have been passed before? It's weird. Anyway.
Even people do this stuff with, like, your dogs, they leave them in your
yeah.
They leave them in the vehicle while in the hot sun, and
I don't remember ever being left alone in the car until I was old enough to, like, take care of myself. But even then, my mom would leave the keys in the ignition. She never left me without a way to protect myself in case of
Right.
anything. And even if, like, I mean, the 90s were different, but like, even if my mom left me alone, it was literally because she was going in and out, not going in for long periods of time.
Right.
I
Nope.
I don't want to shit on parents, but
Mm-hmm.
it just seems lazy to me. I understand if sometimes you wanted to be in and out and not have to worry about your young child because
Mm-hmm.
you have to take the stroller out, you have to do all that. I understand that.
Right.
But would you rather do all of that and keep your child safe? Like, it's just,
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why this is a thing. And like for me, I remember walking down the street when I was younger with my friend, remember Letitia, right? I can
Right.
say her name, she's been on my podcast, but
Yeah.
she and I were walking down the other side of the crescent that my grandparents were on. And when we're walking, we see a baby in the car. It luckily wasn't hot. It was
Mm-hmm.
actually overcast, I think, that particular day. But both of us were like, that child should not be in the car like that. Because we stood around waiting to see if a parent was coming back out. And no
Mm-hmm.
one was coming out. So I ended up being like, I don't know if we should leave this kid in the car. I don't feel good about leaving this kid in the car. How long has this kid been in there? And I was young, guys. I was in elementary school, and I knew this was wrong.
Yeah.
And we went back to my grandma, and I'm like, there's a baby in the car on the other side that's just there. Like, I don't. And she came out and saw the kid was still in there when we came back out. And I
Wow.
can't remember if my grandma called the police or what happened, but like the parent got upset because we dare say anything. And we're like, we care more about your kid being left in this car than you can literally do. Like, it's just, it can't be prevented. Just stop doing it.
Right.
Stop doing it to pets. Stop doing it to your kids. To stop doing
Mm-hmm.
it. Anyway.
100%. 100% agree, and that's why probably the complaints were increased to the government. So people were just
Yeah.
complaining, and then they finally probably did something, and
Mm-hmm.
just, you know,
But
announced the new
that is a
laws.
horrible way for a child to die.
Yeah.
It's a horrible way.
Yeah. It's sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God. Like I can barely handle being in the heat for long. God. Okay, let's just move on.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Since
safe arrival systems have long been in place in schools, as I mentioned, where children are, as young as 3 or 4. I mean, if you're my mom, you were 3. If you're me, you were 4. Starting school for the first time, right? But then that's great, that's in place for them and kids older. But what about the kids that are younger? Why is it taken so long for that to be in place for them? It doesn't make, like I said, it doesn't make sense. So there's that. And then we have another regulation that obviously took effect on New Year's Day that will allow Ontario's Information and Privacy Commissioner to fine individuals or organizations who inappropriately access or share a patient's personal health information. The fuck? Why was this not the case before?
mm,
That's scary to me, actually. Like, that.
isn't well, no, I don't want to say that, but I thought
What?
the U.S. do that. They don't do that, right?
Do what? They keep. Well, they have
So,
HIPAA laws. So you
yeah.
have, yeah, they have, what theirs is HIPAA laws. So
Uh-huh.
with HIPAA, you cannot share the patient's information with just anybody. You can't,
Mm-hmm.
you have to, yeah, HIPAA encompasses not only that, but obviously encompasses like what it means to be a healthcare provider if you're a nurse or a doctor.
Right.
And that is your duty is to save a life to the best of your ability, and provide medical help. But
Mm-hmm.
so that is already kind of within the HIPAA laws. But
Interesting.
with this, it's like, okay, but wasn't that always kind of the case for us too, that you're not supposed to share? So I don't know if this has to do with
Mhm.
like, family. Like if, for example, my mom can't just get access to my medical records because she's my mom.
Yeah,
I'm an adult, so I would have
that's
to,
yeah, that's the same thing with my
yeah,
mom.
yeah, I would have to give her permission. Um,
Right.
but
If
obviously, I have no reason to do that,
no,
right?
if you're a child, that's a different story. So
Well, yes,
basically,
because you are a dependent.
yeah, your
You're
guardian. Yeah.
yes, you're a parent or guardian. But like that makes sense. But as soon as you turn 18, they're now your medical records. Um, so that even in our office, like we can't just access our clients' medical records without a signed authorization. We can with that, right? But I guess like what they're trying to do is like if you want access to whether it's a family member's medical records or anything like that,
Right.
you have to be a power of attorney in order to do that. So like, for example, if I had to become a power of attorney for my father, I'm advocating for him. In that
Mhm.
sense, I'm able to get access to his medical records if I was his power of attorney. I'm
Mhm.
not. But that might be a reality for me at some point in my life. But then I would be able to get access to it at that point.
Hmm.
So, um, so if we've been all loosey goosey before this, like,
Yeah.
that's kind of concerning. Like,
Yeah.
even a husband, wife, or just a married couple, you can't just get access to your partner's medical records. Like,
Nope.
it doesn't work that way.
Yeah. One
Um,
100% agree.
yeah. I mean, if you're me and you make certain appointments for your partner, which I have had to, I
Hmm.
mean, even that clinic was like, you know, you didn't make the appointment. This other person made the appointment. So they said to him, and he's like, she's my girlfriend. She can make the appointment. It's fine. It's fine.
Mm.
I know what the appointment's. But even as simple as that, like, it was like, you see them doing their due diligence with that. And obviously he's like, it's fine. But it's like,
Mm.
I see that, and it's like, I don't even like access to his medical records.
Right.
All I did was make an appointment for him because welcome to my life. I have to make sure he's doing what he needs to do.
Mm.
But it's just like, okay, that's good. So what the hell is happening here?
Mm.
So, so there's that. Something else that was passed was several changes to the tow truck industry. So if you need your car towed, that's this are now also in place. That also includes new customer rights. So the customer rights kind of go as follows. Um,
Yeah, I see it. Yeah. Go ahead.
you see it? Okay, so
Yeah.
those include now the right to provide consent to tow a car. So if I need to get my car towed, I have to provide consent to the tow truck driver to hook my car up, which again, I'm just going to say this. This was always the case. I've had
Mm.
my car towed a couple of times, and that's always been the case. They've
Maybe.
literally said to me, are we good to hook the car up? And I'm like, yeah, go for it.
Mhm.
Because it's, you know, they,
But
so I'm like, what? This was
it's
years
probably
ago.
it's probably more enforced, you know. So like
Yeah, maybe.
no, yeah. So
Yeah, I mean, maybe CAA is a little different because,
hmm
because I'm through CAA, so maybe they're a little different. They
yeah.
they have to do that,
Mhm.
but
Different agencies probably don't do it,
maybe,
possibly. Yeah.
maybe. Um, so we also have to say where it will be towed, which again, obviously, you have to do that anyways. Um, and also access to the vehicle after the fact, and rights related to invoices and payments.
Mhm.
That is something that actually was never the case. Like once your car was hooked up, you can no longer get access to the car. So now you can. So that's good to know. And obviously, where it's the invoices and payments, which I think is all good. So, the province has also taken over the tow truck licensing regime from municipalities and will require certification of all towing operations and vehicle storage companies. So I guess this was municipal. The 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 tow truck companies were under municipalities.
Mm.
For now, it's under the province. It's provincial
Mm.
now. So okay. Ontario is adding several organisms to the invasive species list. This is going to be fun, guys. In the new year, which has happened, obviously, including killer shrimp. Killer shrimp. I'm going to talk about killer shrimp because I'm like, killer shrimp. Most crayfish. And several plants, such as the tree of heaven. I'm also going to talk about the tree of heaven. So let's go and do a little detour in case you don't know what the fuck any of this shit is.
No, yeah, I don't know what it is.
So, killer shrimp are named because of their aggressive feeding habits. They consume large amounts of aquatic insect larvae and food that native fish rely on. They also kill large amounts of organisms, but don't actually consume them. So they're murderous freaking shit. They kill for the fun of it. This behavior disrupts food webs and decreases biodiversity. So these little fuckers are... You've got to go. You're getting an eviction notice.
Yeah.
So I actually have a picture of the killer shrimp, so we can post that to the socials once the episode is up.
Yeah.
So the tree of heaven. When I say the tree of heaven, doesn't that just sound just beautiful?
Yeah, it sounds like somebody, just smoking weed and then,
Okay, I didn't go that far.
And then
Mikel,
just like
you don't even smoke weed.
imagery. No, I know, but it sounds like someone getting high and just saying, the tree is heaven.
Yeah.
The tree of heaven.
Well, I think of something a little more angelic, but that is not the case. This name is kind of an oxymoron because the tree of heaven affects people in many ways. Its aggressive root system can cause damage to pavements, sewers, and building foundations. The plant has also helped advance the spread of the spotted lanternfly, which is an invasive insect, also originally from China.
Oh, wow.
So I also have a picture of that too.
Okay.
So not great. And the province has updated the Occupational Health and Safety Act to increase safety for crane operators on construction sites. 2 new regulations taking effect will help ensure cranes are installed properly and inspected and maintained regularly. I think that's amazing. That's perfect. The last thing that happened that I have here, Ontario has also extended the rules that govern the purchase of alcohol across provincial borders. Consumers will be allowed to buy alcohol directly from businesses in other provinces until January 1st, 2026.
I know
so for 2 years.
I know Doug Ford was fighting for that one.
I'm really starting to think Doug Ford's an alcoholic because I really do.
That's hilarious. Oh,
I mean, he seems more focused on the alcohol when he should be focusing on things like like the nursing crisis, which we'll get to in the next topic. But it's just, are you good, sir?
I mean, he's probably he's probably done more stuff other than enforcing alcohol, but that's basically all I see on CP24. It's just that the beer and the alcohol and being in convenience stores and all that stuff.
I feel like, and again, I feel like it's just easier access to people, especially those people who have problems, right?
Yes.
It just doesn't feel like we will we do have a future topic on Doug Ford this year, but it's just
Yeah.
I feel like he hasn't really done a lot. I feel like he could have done better, you know? And I mean, I know like Kathleen Wynne, for example, who was before him had her issues. There were issues. But I feel like she actually took the job seriously. Where I feel like Doug Ford, yes, you got into this, and I think you really became premier because people had the sympathy for you when it came to Rob Ford. Did I say Rob Ford? I meant Doug Ford. But anyways,
Ford, yeah. He's getting a statue, by the way. So
Rob is getting a statue.
Yeah. Well, that's what Doug was fighting for. So that's what I heard.
Oh, I've heard that. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's going to be a really interesting statue. Which I think we can do both in that episode, talk about both of them. But it's just like, I understand you got the sympathy of when it came to Rob Ford and the cancer diagnosis and the very quick passing after that, but it's just like that doesn't. Can we please all remember, despite the fact yes, that was horrible to see him go through that. Can we remember that Rob Ford was a little bit problematic? So how is Doug Ford not? And here we are. I think if anything, he's more problematic than Rob was. Honestly. Because I feel like Rob Ford here's why I say this. I feel like Rob Ford really did care about his job, even though there was obviously a lot of shit that happened. But I feel like he really cared about his job. He would go door to door to people, and he actually seemed to really do the best that he could and not make things worse for Toronto. Where it feels like with Doug Ford being premier, he has made things worse when it comes to the educational system, the nursing, the healthcare. Our healthcare is in a crisis right now, and he's the main reason why. So I really do think he has definitely made things really bad. And unfortunately, it's provincial, not just a municipal situation. It's Toronto obviously being the hugest municipality anyways, but it's, you know what I mean? We'll talk about him, like I said, but it's just...
Yeah. There's probably a lot of positive, negative stuff that, people have opinions of him.
Yeah.
But we'll talk about him in a future episode. I know Ramona probably will inform us a little bit more because she's probably know a lot more about what he's done than me and probably you.
I keep up on some certain things.
Okay. Well, she probably is more on the ball with it. So yeah, we'll have her on a future episode. Shout out to Ramona. Hopefully you're listening to this episode. So yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so let's move on to the next.
So that's it basically.
That's it for that topic. Yeah.
Well, actually, there's two more things. Well,
you're gonna add to it. Okay.
Yeah. CP24. I'm on a CP24 link, so I'm just gonna keep this short. So basically, minimum wage increases. Thank you, Doug Ford. Hopefully it's a little bit higher than 16.55. Hopefully you can go to $24 an hour, Doug Ford.
It's not gonna go up that high. We have had this conversation.
24,
no.
The Ontario Livable Wage Network.
No, it's not gonna go that high.
Has something to say about that,
It's not gonna go that high again. But it's not gonna go that huge jump like that again.
Hopefully it's probably gonna be around $18, $19 an hour.
I think it's gonna be closer to 17.
Really? You think so?
And usually when they do a minimum wage increase, that's not the huge increase that we did. And when Kathleen Wynne did it, it's usually a few cents. It's not it's not going to go $2. It's still a pretty huge increase.
Oh,
Yeah,
kind of wish it did went
I
from $2 to
understand that, but
$5. Yeah.
what
So, but
needs to go into effect for that, it is
yeah,
going to put a strain on the province, and we already have a strain right now. They're
yeah.
not going to increase it that high.
Grocery prices will go skyrocket. Gas prices.
And we're already paying enough for all of those
Yeah.
things.
So that's going to be crazy. So,
Yeah.
you know. And then more cannabis retail stores.
Okay.
More, a lot more.
So we've already a lot.
Yeah, I know. I seen when I'm ever going on the bus, I see one over there, one over there, one in Ajax, one in Oshawa, one in
I feel like there's more than one in Ajax.
Oh,
there's
yeah,
a few. There's a few. Seriously, the cannabis stores are going to become like Tim Hortons. They're going to be in every corner.
Oh yeah, there needs to be a Tim Hortons like cannabis store, just a one-stop shop there. So for Canadians, go ahead.
Yeah, I think that's kind of already how it is. I mean, I have not stepped foot into a cannabis store myself, but like it's pretty much, I think it's pretty much just how they are at this point. But and that does not include the fact that you can just go online and buy stuff too. So there's so many options.
Yeah, there's so many options, and it's the safest way, because instead of just going to your dealer,
local drug dealer,
and
this must really put them out of business.
Yeah,
local drug dealers.
Yeah, your local drug dealers, and then instead you don't know if it's mixed, you don't know if it's like so like it's safer, healthier to go to an online cannabis store or a physical retail store. So like it's good that more stores are popping up, but it's a lot of them around Canada now. So crazy.
If my ex-husband was still in the country, he would be living a mess. That way.
Yeah. So
although the weed is fresher in Jamaica, but anyways. Weed's a little different in Jamaica.
Yeah. Do they have like a lot of cannabis stores in Jamaica? I don't even know.
They did pass a law, like kind of around the time that he was deported, that said like you can smoke now, like it's legal to smoke anywhere. But I don't know what they have in terms of stores. If they have cannabis stores, I'm not sure. It's not a question I've asked him, but I mean, he doesn't really like, I don't know how easy it is to get like just the plant, but for him, he just gets the plant and just rolls his own, right? But it's just, I'm not sure about that. But it is legal, because before it wasn't. Surprise, surprise. It wasn't before, but it is now.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay. So we will have a lot of the resource links into this episode's description. So just take a look of the rest of the Ontario laws that's been passed. I think there's a couple more that we haven't but we're just not going to do them all. So basically just click on the link in the description, and you'll see the article of the laws of Ontario 2024. Okay. Next topic.
The next topic that we're going to talk about is this asteroid, this God of Darkness asteroid. So again, as mentioned, we're not going to really talk about this spacecraft, but this spacecraft is a spacecraft they're going to be using to get close to the asteroid once the asteroid is close to the Earth. So that's about as much as I'm going to say about the spacecraft. But for the asteroid is going to be making a historic flyby of Earth in 2029. So they're able to tell what's the path of the asteroid, and that's going to be here in what year are we in? It's gonna be here in 6 years. It's gonna be flying by us in about 6 years. So on April 13th, 2029, the asteroid, which they are calling, I'm probably gonna butcher this name, Apophis, whatever, will pass within 20,000 miles or 32,000 kilometers of Earth's surface, which is closer than some satellites and potentially could be visible to the naked eye in the eastern hemisphere. I don't know which hemisphere we're in, but
I don't know much about space.
Well, that's not so much space, that's more geography. I don't know where we are, but that is what's going to happen, and you could potentially see it if you're in the eastern hemisphere. So the size of the asteroid, well, let's talk about it. It's roughly 367 yards, which is 340 meters across.
Wow.
And it only comes this close to Earth approximately once every 7,500 years. So this is like, whoa.
Wow. That's
crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah, like, it is.
We were not even a speck, because our parents weren't even a speck. Like, this rarity presents an invaluable opportunity for scientific exploration and understanding. So basically what they're going to be kind of looking for, our scientists or whatever, they're going to be kind of treating this as like a natural experiment. So someone by the name, I think this is their last name, it's Della Gustina. They said, quote, "We know that tidal forces and the accumulation of rubble pile material are foundational processes that could play a role in planet formation." That's what they're looking for. They could inform how we got from debris in the early solar system to full-blown planets. So that's kind of what they're trying to figure out. How, when, why is the solar system what it is? So the asteroid serves as a key subject in understanding potentially hazardous asteroids, most of which are S-types, which this particular asteroid is also an S-type. I don't know what that means, but that is what this asteroid is. So, okay.
Interesting.
Right. The insights gained from this mission will be crucial for planetary defense research, which I want to know. What does that mean? I guess if that were to happen, like, could what happened to the dinosaurs happen to us again? Kind of situation, I guess. I don't know.
To the humans, like instinct?
I don't know necessarily extinct is the right term to use, but like maybe, I don't know, because that's what happened to the dinosaurs, right? And they, right? So could that happen again? I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe
if it happened once, why couldn't it happen again?
I think the government leaders would, do something about that. So
well, you don't have control over all things, especially something like an asteroid hitting the Earth and going boom.
I mean, it depends. Maybe you never know. The government has a secret weapon, that we don't know about. True. In terms of situations like this. So to destroy the asteroid, so it doesn't, come to destroy us and everything. So you never know. So
okay. Yeah, so this defense research is top priority for NASA. So by April 2nd, 2029, which is just a few days before it's close, really, really close, they will begin imaging the asteroid as it catches up to to us, basically. So that's what it's going to be starting to do, and they're going to be using that spacecraft in order to get close to it and figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they will, like I said, I already said that. So they're going to be looking at this asteroid for approximately 18 months, like in the spacecraft. Thank you for your service, because my God. So the mission will include mapping the surface of the asteroid, analyzing its chemical makeup, and conducting a daring maneuver, which is dipping within 16 feet of the asteroid's surface to stir up rocks and dust, thus revealing the material beneath. Yo, I mean, there's just some things that shouldn't happen. And maybe just leaving the poor asteroid, like, don't go on the asteroid is maybe the point I'm trying to make. It feels like a movie. It feels like it's gonna go really wrong.
Yeah, it feels like more Jetson-y, the Jetsons. I don't know why I got the idea.
Why the Jetsons? I was thinking more, was it Armageddon? I think it was Armageddon, the one that
I think I remember that movie.
With Bruce Willis. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Bruce. Oh yeah.
And then, that's basically what I'm picturing. Like, these people are going to go on this asteroid, and all I can think of is Aerosmith is going to write a song about this. That's all I can think about. So, this is me. But, yeah. Armageddon, if you haven't seen that movie, it's really good. It's sad. It's sad, but it's good.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil it, but it's sad.
Yeah, because there's probably people, who are younger than us that haven't watched.
I won't say nothing. Bruce Willis is in it. That's all I want to say.
Yeah.
Bruce Willis and, God, what is her name? Steven Tyler's daughter, but I can't remember her name right now. So, who is an Aerosmith, by the way, if you don't know who Steven Tyler is. But yeah, that's basically it for that topic.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Interesting stuff in space.
Interesting stuff happening. So the next topic we're going to talk about is the nursing crisis. That's the next one we're going to talk about. And this one really is upsetting for anyone who's had to go to a hospital, can relate to some of the things that is brought up. So the union that represents thousands of Ontarian healthcare workers say the Ford government needs to do more. You think? To address the staffing crisis. So basically what happened is this union conducted a poll of, I think, mainly nurses, but I'm not sure if there were other healthcare providers that were a part of this poll. And in this poll, they were able to determine that a huge amount of these healthcare providers want to quit their jobs. So let's get into it. So the numbers came from a new Nano survey, which suggests that 41% of the province's hospital staff say they, quote, dread going to work.
Really?
Mm-hmm. With 43% saying they are considering a new career path. Now,
I wonder why. I mean,
because the staffing crisis is ridiculous. It's nuts. What happens is they're not hiring, or they're letting people go, and it creates a strain on the healthcare system, right? So that's why, and they're having also longer hours, and it's not a great situation. Now, I don't know about anyone else, but it makes me nervous to know that if I need to go to the hospital, which I've had to do, which we've all probably have had to do, I don't want to be treated by a nurse who dreads their job. I just don't want to do that. That feels like a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
In my personal opinion.
Yeah, that nurse could, either do mistakes or,
right.
don't care or,
right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I'm going to say this just, Ajax Hospital is probably one of the worst hospitals. And I remember before Christmas, my boss coming into the office that particular day, and he had like some event that he attended that was I think it was, I don't know if it was necessarily for Lake Ridge, but it was, I think Lake Ridge like hospitals were there, which would include Oshawa and Ajax. And he's like, Ajax is probably one of the worst hospitals, isn't it? And I said, yes. As a person who's had to attend Ajax Hospital or have other family members attend Ajax Hospital, yes, it is one of the worst. We have people here who will try to go to like Centenary instead because you get better. It's better there than it is here in Ajax.
Yeah.
So it's ridiculous.
It's the best ones in the GTA, I believe.
I would say, yeah. And there was another one that my boss said was absolutely horrific, and I wish I could remember which one he said it was, but it's not. It's, I would say, more like Westish. Oh God, I wish I could remember which one he said now, but he said it was horrific. It's one that we, like, in my line of work, we get a lot of records from. We see a lot of records from this particular hospital. But I can't remember what it was. And it was just like, he said it was horrific. It was horrible. And it's just, this is what we're dealing with. And I don't know when it's going to get better. But to go back to this, so the Canadian Union of Public Employees, which is CUPE, the union representing some healthcare workers in Ontario, say the data points to a staffing crisis that can only get worse if the province doesn't step in, aka Doug Ford. So they said, quote, like, the results of the survey are alarming, and this is said by Sharon Richer, who is the secretary treasurer of CUPE's Ontario Council of Hospital Unions. And this was said at Queen's Park. She goes on to say, it illustrates the gravity of the staffing crisis that has been years in the making, but it's now reaching a new breaking point. And she goes on to say it confirms that workers are deeply unhappy of working conditions with profound consequences on their mental health. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when I went to like the Ajax one, I noticed a lot of I know patients can be in pain. Patients can be, pain and ill at the same time.
That was my experience when I had to go, especially the first time.
Yeah. And I understand patients can be stressful towards nurse, doctors, etc. So I understand that some nurses and doctors don't like their job due to that as well.
This is what you chose to do. Going into this particular job that it's going to not be a walk in the park either. But at least the province can ease that by making sure that they have everything that they need in order to do their job. Because again, like, especially nowadays, like, I'm not sure what it's like now since I've had to go. It's been over a year for me, but it's just like, when I first went, I'm by myself. I have literally a throw-up bucket because I'm throwing up. I'm in pain because of the stupid kidney stone that I was dealing with. I don't have a family member there with me to at least have the comfort in, at least that I'm there by myself because of the COVID protocols. And I'm kid you not, the first time I was there, I got there around 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I didn't go home. I wasn't home until 12:30 in the morning.
Wow.
Because I was there for hours. No one's helping me. I think like the first test they did on me, I still waited for like 2.5 to 3 hours. But like that rendered nothing because the issue wasn't what they did, that wasn't going to figure it out. What they needed to do was give me a CT scan, which by the time I got to the doctor, that department was closed. So I had to go back the Monday after, because this was like a Friday. So I went the Monday after to do the CT scan. And at that point, thank God, I was no longer in pain. But I had to go through the process of doing pain again because you guys either didn't have the resources or whatever the case may be. And I had to do contrast. They also had to do dye as well, which I hate. The contrast, I was right back in pain again because that created pain for me. So I had to go through the whole fucking shit all over again. Luckily, I wasn't throwing up or anything, but it was just that's what's happening too, is like you're putting patients backwards as well because they don't have the resources to do what they need to do. Maybe instead of having one emerge doctor on site, maybe have two. But that's what's happening in AHS. You only have one emerge doctor. And that one emerge doctor has to go to everybody.
No, that's crazy. I know when I was... Go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I know when I was in the hospital at one point, and I left the hospital. Well, almost left the hospital, and this guy from customer service was talking to me about how the government does not invest into these hospitals at all. He was telling me that the long lines is an issue, or the waiting time. My bad, the waiting time, not the long lines. Waiting time. And then doctors, technology as well. We're seriously behind on that. I think we're behind America, and I would say
100% we're behind America.
Japan as well. Japan probably is more advanced than us.
For sure.
So
for sure.
Yeah.
I think the best hospital, which actually I didn't even know doesn't have an emergency department, is Sunnybrook. They're a little more ahead of times when it comes to even their MRI machines are probably more advanced than anywhere else. Sunnybrook is a place that a lot of people are referred to depending on what the issues are.
I also heard good things about Princess Margaret as well.
Mixed bag with Princess Margaret. Yeah, it's mixed. I just mean I don't think Princess Margaret has an emergency department either. I'm not sure, but with Sunnybrook, it just has everything, and the machines are just so much more advanced. I'm just not sure about Princess Margaret because they're cancer research, so it's a little different. I'm not sure, but it is. Yeah, but it's just we need to do better. And then not only that, we're looking at I don't know about you, but the bathrooms at Ajax Hospital, the hospital on a whole is disgusting.
And the waiting room too.
Disgusting. Definitely disgusting. And they're doing construction there. I'm not sure if it's done. Probably not. But they're doing construction. But I remember for me, I have a fucking kidney stone that I didn't know I had, but I had it. And I'm having to use the bathroom a lot. Well, not a lot, actually. I'm trying to use the bathroom because I can't, because I'm in so much pain. I couldn't. And I'm having to go use the bathroom And it's so disgusting. Trigger warning.
Yeah.
There is literal, like, I could see pieces of shit on the floor of the
Mm.
bathroom. And I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? I remember being on the phone with my mom and being like, oh my God, there's shit. And my mom was like, what? And I'm like, there's shit. There's shit. I was,
Uh,
I was so disgusted.
yeah.
I was so disgusted. But like, that's the other thing too. Hospitals are cesspools. And it's just, anyways.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'd like to say this to our Canadian government: invest into our healthcare, please,
And
please,
this is the thing that makes no
please.
sense to me with Doug Ford, because that's when it started getting bad. So it
Yeah.
makes no sense to me with him. It's like, okay, again, going back to Rob Ford, your brother had cancer and was in the hospital and was probably getting better treatment than the average person, but
Mhm.
he got the help he needed. So
Yep.
then you decide, with that in mind, let me fuck over the healthcare system. I don't understand.
Yeah. I don't know. That's crazy.
But
I think there's a little bit tunnel vision there because like he saw
mhm,
that and just really basically did what they did for his brother, but he doesn't see what's doing to other people. So
mhm,
like
yeah,
he think it's fine, but he
yeah.
doesn't see what's it doing to other
And,
people in general.
and again, if he had to go to a hospital, or like anyone like
Hmm.
him or like Trudeau or
Hmm.
whoever
Oh
needs to
yeah,
go to the hospital, you're gonna get amazing treatment
yeah,
while the rest of
yeah,
us aren't.
100%, and yeah, it's 100%.
But let's continue. So the
All right.
survey finds nearly 4 in 5, which is 79% of workers are not confident that the provincial government will improve the healthcare system in 2024. I didn't need to know. I didn't need to see a survey to know it. Of course, we all, not even just them, we all think that.
So he's sorry. Repeat that again. Finally, he's.
No. I'm saying like we don't need a survey to know that that's basically how it's going to go,
Mhm.
because I think not only healthcare workers feel that way, but I think even people outside of the healthcare system
Yes,
feel the same
patience,
way. Yeah,
patience. Yeah.
like we all feel that our healthcare system is going to
Hmm.
shits. And I'm curious to know, is this provincial? Is anything like this happening in other provinces? I don't think so. I haven't heard anything.
Yeah. Maybe we're just in a box because
Maybe.
we haven't heard anything. So yeah.
So, I think it's the same person, this richer person. She says, quote, how are we going to keep our hospitals functioning without staff? You don't. You just don't. She also says it's shocking to note that the government doesn't have a retention plan. Why don't we have a retention plan? Like, this doesn't feel right. But anyways, she also says that the whole system depends on workers, and yet their needs continue to be neglected. And that's exactly it. Like, it's the case in anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Like for my thing, the law, or it's not outside the law, but if someone needs to be compensated for something that happened, those things would not happen if the lawyers and the staff don't do the work in order to make sure that their client is being compensated.
Right. Right.
But when we're talking about the healthcare system that every person at some time relies upon, it's just it's not good to have people feel neglected or not making sure that people have what they need
Mm-hmm.
and not doing the work to make sure that they have what they need. Like, we are all going to need it. we're all gonna need a doctor or a nurse
Yeah.
or whatever. Like it's yeah, it's concerning.
It is.
So the union leaders say that the province needs to invest at least another $1.25 billion annually over the next
Say that again. How much?
Okay, $1.25 billion annually.
You heard that, people?
Over the next 5 years to help improve staffing levels and boost capacity. So QP is basically proposing implementing staff to patient ratios, which again, that should already be the case. Like, that should already be the case. In Ontario hospitals to help out the working conditions. Like, I really feel like that should already be a thing. So staffing ratios, they say, quote, staffing ratios would make a huge difference by setting a minimum standard of care. And this is said by Dave Virch, who is the first vice president of OCHUQB. And he continues on to say, it would offer a glimmer of hope that the government is serious about fixing this crisis.
Yeah.
In addition, Virch is also calling for better compensation and an increase in full-time jobs in the sector. So I don't know if the majority isn't full-time. And then they're also being paid shittily. So there's also that aspect of it. And again, I mean, yes, it should be like, oh, it shouldn't be about the money. But money is a huge motivator to do the work. This is how it is. So, in a statement to City News, the Ministry of Health says that the province was able to add 1,500 new nurses last year and continues to grow and support the healthcare sector. They say, quote, we have broken down barriers to make it easier for internationally and interprovincially educated nurses to register and practice in Ontario. And this is by the ministry spokesperson, Hannah Johnson, which she also continues by saying Ontario's nurses are one of the highest paid nursing workforces across the country. But then we're going to hear, they're going to make this a little bit political. The NDP leader, named Merit Stiles, says that the Ford government needs to heed the call from the unions and stop underinvesting in hospitals. Agreed. They say, Stiles, they say, quote, there is an all-out crisis in our hospitals and the Conservatives are pretending everything is okay. It's not. The reality is far from it, he says. Wait times are worsening and the Conservatives have made the Liberals' hallway healthcare the new norm. Yeah. That is very true. There are literally patients out in the hallways because they can't get a room. That happened to my grandmother the other day, and when she had to go to the hospital, and it's just like, she was in a hallway waiting to get a room, which I don't think she did get one until the next day. Because guess what? Guess what they say? It's the weekend. That's why. Wow. So, people don't get discharged on the weekends because there's no doctors there or some shit that they said. I'm like, well, can't they find someone who will just do that so they can get those people out, so they can get people that need to be in? Ugh, it's so stupid. But anyways, they went on to say emergency rooms are closing an unprecedented rate. So that's the other problem that we're dealing with now. So let's go into that. So last month, because sometime in December, the province's acting auditor general found that Ontario had no central plan to help hospitals tackle nurse shortages, which then led to temporary emergency department closures. the fuck?
Wow.
That's scary.
It shouldn't be closing.
No.
The hospital should not be closing at all.
Mm-mm.
Like
Well,
they're
it's not the whole hospital, it's the emergency department, which is
emergency department. Okay.
right.
Yeah, that shouldn't be closing.
Right. Um, there were more than 200 unplanned temporary emergency department closures in 23 Ontario hospitals between July 2022 and June of 2023.
Mm.
So just so everyone knows that the survey, which we're talking about, the nano survey, they polled 774 hospital workers from across the province. So those were the numbers that they were working with. But that's it. That's it for that topic.
So yeah, Canada, you have a lot of work to do.
They definitely do. Definitely do.
I feel like Canada, that should be the number one thing they should invest into. Healthcare, number one, because health, like everybody says this quote, your health is important.
Yes.
Very important. And then, second, education, third, police, fourth. Actually, after that, everything after those three things, it can go. It can go. It can go either way, right? You can invest energy, etc. Grocery, or but those three things require health, safety, and education. Those are the most three important things you need in this country, and sadly, one of those things are not being invested properly. So.
We're going to do that quick update of like I said, we were going to do. So I believe it was in November, we briefly talked about the Michael Jackson biopic. And the fact that it's probably been slightly delayed due to the strikes, but everything is ramping back up. And that one of those things is now they have a release date for the new biopic. And that is going to be on April 18th, 2025. So we have to wait a little over a year for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, just a small update. New music, I would say. I recently came across Ariana Grande's new song.
Okay.
You heard it?
I didn't know she had a new song out yet. So.
You heard her last song like a few years ago. Thank You Next, right?
Oh well, that was a long time ago. She's had music since then.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yeah,
that one's a pretty good song.
Yes.
Right. And I'm not a pop fan at all. I'm not much of a pop type of guy. So her new track, Yes and, it's basically based on allegations of what she has been doing. You heard her about her allegations and everything. Not gonna go into detail. Do your research, guys, on the allegations.
Oh, was that having to do with her potentially in the affair with the
relationships, etc. Blah blah blah.
Right.
We're not a gossip.
No,
podcast.
We're not. But
we're just get straight to the point. So the song's based on that. And
okay.
Yeah. It's not good. It's not good.
I mean, I feel like here's what I'll say about. I mean, Ariana Grande is very talented. She
yes, she is.
Yeah, she they compare her with Mariah Carey in terms of like her range and everything. So I give her that. But she has been very messy when it comes to her relationships. She was married to someone, I think like a no-name guy, and she was married to him, and then that's the last I heard. And I'm like, what the hell is this? And I'm like, okay. But listen, here's what I'll say. For those people who know Kristen Stewart, who she's an actress, And she was dating Robert Pattinson, who was her co-star on Twilight for some time. That relationship went to shit because she did something very similar to what Ariana Grande is doing. It did not go well for her.
Yeah.
Now, she has come out the other side and she's, living her best life. But at that time, it didn't go good for her. Ariana Grande, get ahead while you can. It is not going to go well for you. Do not get involved in a marriage where there are also children involved. That's the part that I have an issue with. But
yeah,
all the best to you, I guess.
Yeah, all the best to her. But this song is like I said, I like Thank You Next. Thank You Next was like done properly, and the structure of the song was pretty good.
And it felt like a letter to herself to say like it's okay to be on your own for a while. And she'd gone through so much at that point. And it's just like I don't know, I feel like she kind of went right back to all that nonsense. She's young, but it's just like,
And it's also relatable for, any type of person that's going through that type of stuff. Even, Miley Cyrus's song. Like, what was the song that I thought it was?
Wrecking Ball?
No, the new song that she just dropped like last year.
Oh, Flowers.
No, the other song. Born something.
What?
Was it Young?
Oh, there might have been another one, Young, but her
Used to Be Young. That was a good song. That's a good song. That's a good song, in my opinion. When I first heard that song, I was like, yeah, this is gonna be a hit. It's gonna be all over radios. It's gonna be all over streams. People are gonna be listening because it's so relatable to one person. One person can just hear that song because they used to be young and stupid and all that stuff, and they can just easily relate and just listen to that song every single day. Yeah,
and that's the thing with music that I think, especially people who write their own music, they write music that is about them, but when they release it, it's something that everyone can at some point relate to. I feel like, based on what you're telling me with this Ariana Grande song, is more about her.
Yes.
Let me tell you something about Ariana Grande. She's scary. That's the problem with her too. I think she's a Gemini, and it's just like, she's a little cuckoo.
I think she's very gorgeous in my opinion.
I don't care what you think about that.
I think she's very gorgeous.
That's not what I'm getting at, though. I'm talking about her personality.
Talented as well.
Yes, but she will even say herself, like, she would kill someone if she had to. That's what I'm trying to get at. She has said that she had thoughts like that before in her past. That's what I'm getting at. I'm not talking about her beauty or anything like that. I'm talking about stuff like that when it came from her mouth. That came from her lips. I didn't make that up. I literally watched a video with her saying it.
People say whatever when they're in a certain situation. So
situation. She was being interviewed by Jimmy Fallon. What situation?
I don't know. To be honest with you, so hey, gorgeous woman.
Okay, but then you're like
talented.
The perfect victim if you're like more concerned about a person's beauty, but you're ignoring all the red flags.
No. I understand, but she's probably saying stuff like that because of that's basically how she feels,
What?
Maybe
you're not making any sense.
Hey, I don't think she will actually do it. I think she has common sense.
No one would actually just do it. But the fact that a person has a thought process like that, that's psychology. That's something that's totally different.
Hey, have you ever said something like when you're hurt, you would kill somebody?
But that's not the same thing. It's not the same thing of being in the heat of the moment and saying something. I'm not over here thinking that I could commit a murder and be okay with that.
Right.
That's not what I do.
I don't think she.
You're just making excuses.
It's not because I'm making excuses. Like if 50 says something like that, I don't think he will do that because he's not that stupid, right?
Okay, but
He's
there
not
are
stupid.
celebrities that have been that stupid.
Yes, I
That's
do
what
agree, but like,
let's not forget celebrities are human too.
yeah, yeah, but I don't think Ariel Grande would do something like that. I think she's just saying shit just to say shit. So
I'm just saying.
it's based on it,
And I think her
I think
family said something similar too. That she was like a kind of a crazy
have
kid.
yeah
That
have
was
they
not a
has she
normal crazy kid. No.
like I said has she done?
That's not the point, Mikel.
I know that's not the point, but like you're basically saying that she, if she said it, I think she's going
No,
to act
that's
on
not
it.
what I
But
said. You're putting words in my mouth. That's not at all what I said. What I said
mm-hmm.
is that I'm a little scared of her because you don't know what someone is capable of. Someone is having thoughts like that. 1 second, everything could be fine, and then
mm-hmm.
you just snap. That's why they have a whole ass show called Snapped, because someone snapped in the moment.
Well,
That's not necessarily that they plan to kill somebody, but they've snapped, and they, end up committing a murder even if they didn't plan to. So that's what I'm getting at.
maybe
Everyone
she
is
just
capable of that, even if you don't have those thoughts. I'm capable of it. You're capable of it. Everyone's capable of potentially killing somebody by accident or being in the heat of the moment. But when you say you have thoughts like that, that is different. That is different.
yeah, okay. She has thoughts, then
Or
I
she's
don't
had
know.
thoughts like that. That's different.
Maybe she. Well, I don't want to go too deep into this. Like I said, everybody, or someone probably has thoughts about killing
I
somebody
don't.
that they hate or
No.
dislike or
I've had a lot of
but
people
they
I've
can't
disliked in my life, and I've never
they
thought
don't
that.
I mean that they don't want to act on it. They don't usually
I don't
act
even
on it.
think about that. It's not about acting. You don't have
Yeah.
to just. Okay. When it comes to, committing a murder or something or committing a crime,
Mm-hmm.
you not only have the act, you have to have the mind to do it, or like the motive, which is the mental aspect of it. You can have the mental aspect but not necessarily act on it, right? But if you have neither, then it's whatever. But I've never hated anyone to an extent where I want to kill them.
I mean,
Never, never had that.
yeah. I mean, you can destroy them, or kill them mentally, or that's
That's not the
probably
same thing. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about actually killing somebody.
or financially, you kill them.
That's not what I'm
That's
talking about.
I understand that what she thought, her thoughts, but like,
It's just a
the thing
matter
is,
of if she didn't have the path that she's now on, what would she have become? That's kind of where I think that conversation kind of came from and what she was trying to say.
well,
Like that's what I'm getting at too.
oh, well, she's famous, makes makes good music, I would say, and good actress as well, and
What?
I mean, she's a good actress. She's
She
a good
did
actress.
one television show, did she not? I
I
haven't
mean,
seen her in
two
anything
actually,
since.
two.
It doesn't matter. She was playing the same character, was she not?
Actually, three. Actually, wait, hold on. Two, yeah, two.
Okay,
Two.
playing the
Victorious
same,
and
playing the
Cat.
same,
Yeah.
playing the same character. Calm down.
It's still acting, in my opinion, and
Unless you continue on with that, I don't think
music.
just
Also,
playing.
music videos too. So those count.
Uh, okay, no, it doesn't.
Okay.
I very rarely would consider like Michael Jackson an actor because he did music videos. Michael Jackson was not an actor, even if he wanted to be. He was not.
I don't know about that.
I wouldn't consider him an actor.
I mean, technically, it's a form of art, and
but it's
movies
not
are a
acting.
form of art.
Yes, but the movies and the music videos are not the same, in my opinion. It's not acting.
Technically, you are kind of acting.
No,
you're acting like a certain character in a music video.
I think
either
that's
yourself or a different type of character.
I think that's a stretch.
That's debatable. I don't know.
That's a stretch.
But anyways, like I said, I don't read it too much into it. She hasn't done or said anything, or she said something, but like she doesn't like act on it, or So I wouldn't read it too closely into it. Maybe
I'm just saying, if anyone close to her, just be careful.
Yeah, maybe she has those thoughts in different ways, like financially, or
that's not what she said.
Financially, or mentally.
That's not what she said. That's not what killing someone is. But you're creating something that's not the case.
People think people think in different ways, So
yeah, but that's not what she said.
What they imagine. I mean, it's not what she said, but what they imagine killing someone is.
You're making it into. You're kind of changing the narrative. Because that's not what she said. Because when she's talking about when she was a kid, she's not thinking about financially. She's talking about murder.
Kids are kids.
Kids. What kid do you fucking know? It's talking about.
You could watch a horror movie, and then next thing you know.
Oh my god, that's not fucking real. That's not real.
It's not real. It's not real. But
okay,
you could.
But I think because you think she's pretty is clouding your judgment there a little bit.
No, it's not because she's pretty. I just called her song not good. Come on.
Okay, but what I'm trying to say is, for me, if I were to find out my child was having thoughts like that, we're gonna look into that, because that's a concern.
I mean, she went to.
Because kids commit murder too. So
yeah, I know they do. I know they do. But maybe she, if she had those thoughts, and she probably told her parents probably went to a,
I don't know about that. I don't know if she told anybody.
Yeah, so maybe you never know, because she keeps her life really private, right? She's a private person in terms of her private, other than her issues getting leaked here and there. Otherwise than that, very private person. So you never know if she went to a mental health doctor, or to get those thoughts out of her mind. So. Yeah, that's all I have to say. Okay. Yeah. So this ends episode 16 of the Next Tape podcast. The Next Tape podcast is available now on all podcast platforms. We also have a website called solo.to, Next Tape Podcast. And what else do we have, Tanyka?
We have Facebook and Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and Facebook and Instagram. You can find us at Reality. I said mine. God, sorry. Next Take Podcast. And then TikTok and Twitter is Next Take Pod. So we're gonna get the TikTok going. But
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you can contact us on our email at mikeltanyka@gmail.com. So we talked about a lot of things. MLK Day. Happy MLK Day in the United States, So hopefully people, share a moment of silence to Martin Luther King junior slash senior. So yeah. And then we talked about uh what else did we talk about, Tanyka? I
We
can't remember now.
we talked
After
about
talking about
we talked
go
about the
ahead.
new laws that were passed in
Yeah.
January 1st, 2024 in Ontario. We talked about the God of Darkness asteroid, and we also
Yeah.
talked about the nursing crisis.
And then a little
Uh,
bit about, music sprinkled there, like,
at the end, yeah,
when you have that cake and then you just sprinkle a little bit of sprinkles, that's basically what we just did on there. So if you don't want to listen to it, you can just skip that part if you want to. So
yeah.
just get towards the end, which is right here. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
so anything else you want to say before we leave until next week,
No, I
Tanika?
think that is it.
That is it. Okay.
Yeah.
So I am Mikel,
And I'm Tanyka.
and we are going to, rest
Yes, I'm tired.
because I'm a little bit exhausted. But I'm just gonna rest for a little bit and then, head to the event that I need to go to, and then yeah, the rest of the day is mine, and then I have to go to work next week. Sorry, not next week, tomorrow. So
Yeah.
yeah, and we are out until next week. Later.
Bye.